So many people are becoming awake and aware. After 2 years, the pressure is finally getting to a point where they can no longer ignore what's going on. And so we want to make sure when they come on to Action for Canada, the Empower Hour, that they're filled in on just a little bit of the massive amount of materials and support that Action for Canada has to offer. So Heather, thank you again. I really want to get through my updates quite quickly. So I think I'll go in right to sharing the page. All right, for those of you who are new, I do just an update every week to make sure that you know what our strategies are and our campaigns. There's certain strategy we don't make public and others we do because it's so obvious what needs to be done. And so if you go to Call to Action, I just want to bring to your attention that we've made a change this week. Normally with the Call to Action campaigns in the past, pre-COVID, it would just be an action and you always knew to go to that page and you can find it. But now we've changed it to weekly emails instead of recent actions. And the urgent actions are the actual call to actions that we have been embedding in the weekly letters. We please ask you to go to this page, make sure that you're engaging law enforcement and appealing to them, helping to educate them, helping to, like I said, appeal to them to understand that this is their country. They've sworn a duty and an oath to protect the citizens of this nation and that we're heading into tyranny. And the only time countries succeeded in not falling into tyranny is when the military and police stood with the people and not this corrupt government. Continue to put the pressure on the Liberal MPs. We are demanding that they remove Trudeau and that they resign. We are asking you to rally outside their offices. Even if they're not there, we want the constituents, the people that voted them into office to understand there's major problems. Make sure your signs are compelling to talk about the corruption and maybe point out a few of the highlights of what they've permitted in the last 2 years. All right, Bill 67 is in Ontario. It is the one on critical race theory. Please make sure that you are, even if you're not in Ontario, critical race theory is spreading across Canada. It is part of the global cabal's just agenda to break down democracy and divide people. We have created a page as well, which I'll show you in a moment, to bring more awareness to critical race theory. And then, of course, this was Bill C-230. Prior to COVID, Justin Trudeau, they are just all about death and destruction. And so they brought in this euthanasia bill. And now it is to the point where doctors, medical professionals are being intimidated and coerced into participating, as it said here, in medically assisted suicide. And I love Campaign Coalition. They don't just create a petition for the sake of it. They actually get all of those signatures and then they print them off and bring them to whomever it is their target at the legislature. All right, so this is a great page. Make sure that you're paying attention to this. If you haven't received our weekly email for some reason, you can come here and get updated. This week is tyranny, hitting the pause button. All right, please understand that these restrictions that are being lifted right now are only a pause. They want to make people feel like they can kind of relax, life is getting back to normal. It's not going to, because their end goal is to bring in digital ID and control every aspect of our life like they're doing in China. They even tell us straight out, we've got, I don't even want to call her Dr. Tam, we'll just stick to Tam. Canadian government should be ready to resume public health measures if another serious variant of COVID-19 emerges. All right, so they're already telling us that they're planning on a serious, I don't know what they'll name it this time, but we know that it's coming in the fall. I compare it, as I was writing this action, to them, when you had that friend, I have a brother, older by 45 minutes, mind you, but they like to dunk you in the water and then that's fun and you come up gasping for air and they do it again, right? And this is what I feel like the government has been doing to us for the last 2 years, dunking you underwater, feeling like, okay, the game is over, we're able to breathe again. And so they want people to, go on a holiday, but they're still putting the fear tactics in the back of your mind. Please remember, we cannot become apathetic or lazy over the summer. We have to be mobilizing the masses, which Action for Canada is doing by asking you, please, if you're not part of a chapter, please get signed up and become involved, because within these communities, we are very focused on people running as a school board trustee, as a mayor, city council, MPP, MLA, and an MP. And we want to have massive wins. We need to get back every level of government. Yeah, like I said, the trustees, you have no idea how important it is. If you're a teacher, run as a trustee if you have that experience. We need you so bad. Anybody that would have been on these boards agreeing with what was happening with our kids in the last year, I believe they belong in jail, but at the very least, we need to get them removed from the school boards. All right, we're very excited. We've been talking about this. We're going to have a youth leadership and speaker program. It is going to start on April 1st, and I just love it. Dr. Greg Gary is going to be the one running this course. He is amazing, has a good degree, as I said, in economics here, but also in education and a doctorate in theology. Yesterday, Dr. Gary came on to the weekly show that I do for business owners, employees, and parents. It used to be 3 Zooms a week. I put it into one, 4:30 BC time on Tuesdays. And Dr. Greg came on and he did it on the economics, the world banking system, the fiat. It was so good that we're going to have him back on an Empower Hour. So be ready for that. I put this video that's from the fall on here, medical coercion is illegal in Canada, and how Trudeau and Christy Freeland, they are liars and thieves. And I just don't want anybody to forget about what it is that they're up to. So please continue to spread this video. I thought it was very well done. And then again, on the racial equity is what they call it, but it's critical race theory. We are going to be also bringing more attention to this. We've known about it for a while now, but people's ears prior to COVID-19 were not ready to hear about these other political pandering views that the government was trying to bring in. That's part of, like I said, the global agenda to break down our democracy. So this is an interesting video. I'd encourage you to take some time and listen to that. I've talked about that bill already. The truckers are on the road again. I love it. We did the Willie Nelson on there. That's fun. Oops, didn't mean to hit that. But you can come to our Freedom Convoy page, and they've made it very clear that they're on the move again. And we did have some links here, but we want to make sure that we're using the most legitimate individuals backing this. So pay attention to this page. I know it's all over social media. They're already doing, what do you call the schedule and where they're traveling. Okay, I think that what I really want to point out in the bottom here as well, we have such good news. Every week I'm hearing from other people who are using Action for Canada's notices of liability, especially our chapter leaders. I've had incredible, we have a chapter leader in Ontario, Terry, and she worked so hard with the school board that was deciding to put masks on kindergartners. She had one of the trustees on the phone. She let her know, we're coming after you for personal liability. This is criminal what you're doing to our kids. She was quite concerned. She said, send me what you have on masks. Terry sent that to this lady who shared it with the school board trustees. Then they continued to provide, pressure. And last week they voted against, they reversed their decision to mask children. And so we're having other wins as well, but please get involved with the chapters, because together we can do amazing things. As an update for those who have been following us on BC with the campaign against the school board trustees who were told to mandate vaccination, we're now up to 30 trustees, school boards that have voted no, and we're 50% of the way there. And one of those school boards was Nanaimo, who had previously a few weeks ago voted yes, and they've actually rescinded, they've reversed that decision. And so we're quite excited about that. I've been working with a woman this week who was tricked. And many of you here today may be in this position where they gave you the option to say, yes, I'm going to get vaccinated, or no. And so she checked the box no, signed her name, and then below there it says, if you check the box no, you'll be terminated. And so anyways, March 5th on a Saturday, she finds out she's terminated on March 7th. So I wrote some very strongly worded letters to them, basically telling them this is extortion, intimidation, what the rule of law was. And wouldn't you know, this week they reinstated her. Now they've reinstated her as an unpaid employee, but we've said that's not good enough. She needs to be fully reinstated. Those letters that I'm writing are on the notice of liability page. And if you just scroll down to templates, please use these letters. These are all regarding school board trustees and the school system for teachers, etc., for children. And these are the ones that have gone to the city. This is the most recent thread that I'm talking about. Please go in here, copy, paste it, use whatever you need to hold your employers, the union, everybody, you know, needs to know your point of view from a legal standpoint and what your rights are. And I'm telling you, I won't mention what city it was, but the union's jumping. The city is jumping. The fact that they didn't keep her on in a position that where she was terminated, that they've reinstated her, means that what we're doing is effective. All right, I just want to make sure I've talked about this. We're good. NOLs, the templates. All right, there's the page showing the 30 schools that have voted no. I think more have voted no as well, but they're trying to keep it very secret. So we're having to dig in. And again, if you haven't already, under join, go down and join a chapter, because it is absolutely so exciting to see how the chapters are growing in every single province. And soon, I believe we have them coming in the Yukon. Look at this. There used to be one in Ontario in August. Now we've got 44 chapters throughout, 39 throughout BC, growing in every province. This is how we're going to take back our country. And we need you part of this historical campaign. It's so exciting. And then as well, if you would please donate to Action for Canada. We're talking about putting a cryptocurrency on here as well. We think that's a good idea. And we would love it if you would please sign up as a monthly donor to help support all of the incredible work that Action for Canada is doing. We have so many great volunteers, but we need some in paid positions because this organization, like I say, is growing, and we need good leadership. And sometimes that takes a little bit of cash to get that done. You know that the worldwide rallies are taking place this weekend. Please get out there. Your bodies are such an incredible sign to the government that we will not consent, we will not bow down, and we're going to take this to the streets. Okay. Just a quick touch, and then we'll bring Leighton on, about the Conservative Party. I know Pierre Poilievre is a smooth talker. Boy, he sounds good right now. But you know what? I don't think we can trust him as far as we can throw him. The Conservative Party has been missing in action for 2 years. They have promoted the vaccine. They have not been fighting for Canadians. And they've also voted for Bill C-4. And I've talked about that multiple times, which now, if a parent, after they've indoctrinated our kids in the school system, saying they're not a boy, they're not a girl, they can be anything in between or nothing at all. Now kids are coming home en masse saying, I'm no longer a girl, I'm a boy. And if they come home and say that at 7 years old, 12 years old, 15 years old, you as a parent, if you don't support this gender dysphoria that they were indoctrinated into, you as a parent can be put in jail for 5 years. Why did the Conservative Party support that? All right, let's ask some really good questions. I happen to know because they're knocking on Action for Canada's door. They're really wanting our support, and they're already trying to manipulate your vote by bringing in Sean, who is so far left he's ridiculous. And through the first past the post voting system, his votes are meant to go to Pierre Poilievre. All right, we're going to pick another party, a party that has been faithful to Canadians in the last year, a party that's growing strong. And I think we, with the chapters and promoting our elected officials, those candidates who understand what's at stake here in our country, I really think that we can take this country back.